Okay, Project 4. Um, Welcome to Project 4 introduction. We're kind of going to walk through the handout like always and kind of discuss what the intentions of the project are and what you guys should be doing. Um, for this project, we're going to be creating a personal reliquary, which is essentially a small box that is designed to intentionally hold something special. So in the handout, I kind of walk through like what a reliquary is. This is kind of a fairly common metals project, like because more advanced metal students learn how to create boxes out of metal. So we're kind of going to be exploring that too. It's also kind of a chance for you guys now to explore a more conceptual approach to designing, and kind of continuing to think about function and designing an object for a specific purpose. So we're building a box to hold a specific object, and there's a couple different approaches to this project if you see right here. So it can be like a literal approach. In the past, like historically, reliquaries were created to hold remains of saints, so something that's very precious and holy. So you can take that approach as well. If there's something that is very special to you, you can create a box that is specifically designed to hold that. So an example would be a piece of jewelry that's was passed down to you, and it's precious to you. You can also approach this project kind of jokingly. So if you're in quarantine, maybe you can't get to the store very frequently. A special object to you right now could be like your last Oreo. So creating a box to hold that for special time. You can also approach it conceptually. So some artists are much more conceptual workers rather than just trying to create something beautiful. They really want to engage the viewer's like mind and really make them think about things. So I've seen students in the past in metals make a reliquary to time or like age, passing of time, and there are lots of reliquaries to like death, which is more of a Victorian age approach, like little boxes or lockets that would hold like the hair of a deceased family member or a baby. That's kind of a little more grim approach, but wrestling with like a bigger concept that forces the viewer to think. So, whichever approach you want to take is totally fine. The main goal is that you're making a box designed to hold a very specific object. So it's not just like a rectangular box. It should have a shape that is specific to whatever object it's trying to hold. So techniques we're continuing to explore our sketch environment. So creating two-dimensional sketches and using some of our modeling processes to make those three-dimensional. We talked about extruding in our last project, but we're also going to be going into lofting and revolving, just different processes, different operations to create a three-dimensional body from a two-dimensional sketch. And you can continue to use any of the tools we've used in the past. So once you have your object, you can use tools in your modify menu. So adding a fillet, shelling things out, combining pieces together. So graded things. We are using sketches and not just building out of our primitive geometries, our little building blocks. This is a more kind of specialized design, so it should be, a little more. It's going to be difficult to build only using primitive geometry, so we are using sketches, and not our sculpt environment, not like the forms. So you should be using at least two create tools. So somewhere you can do an extrude, and then somewhere you can attempt a loft or a sweep or a revolve. Your box should have a lid to it that fits, and in the second video, that how to extra help step-by-step tutorial video, I'm going to show you a couple options for different types of lids. So it can be, let me just come over here. This is the model I'm going to walk through. This is more of a, well, to me, it's a joke approach to this project. I don't play Xbox, but my husband does, and he plays it a lot. So for him, like his special object, his reliquary, his holy object that needs to be carefully protected and taken care of would be his controller. So anyway, this is what I'm going to walk through in the video. You can see there are two different types of modeling. There's an extrude, and this little guy, the joystick is made out of a revolve command. What was I going to show you? Oh yeah. A tension fit lid, so a lid that kind of just like pushes on and snaps on. I will briefly also be going over how to make little hinges, or honestly I can also approach this. This is a ring box designed off my logo. If I ever wanted to 3D print like a little ring box for an engagement ring, this I'm kind of thinking of making something more interesting than just like the little rectangular box or circular box. And this, for this box, sorry, there we go, there isn't a mechanism designed within the box, but instead I would be putting little magnets in there to hold the lid and the box body together, rather than hinges or a tension fit lid like that. So any of those are options for you, but it should just have a lid. Another part of your grade, creativity. So yeah, not a plain simple rectangular box. It is a box to hold a specific object, and the shape of the box should reflect that. Time spent, not too simple. Honestly, this box right now as it stands is too easy. It was just one sketch and then an extrude. So I should do something else to it to make it a little bit more interesting. I could add some fillets. I could model in where my magnets are going to go, which I should do that. And maybe create some design in the side. Something like in this lid where I've created a little indentation design. I would do that on here as well. Just something to make it a little more complex because it is a little bit too simple right now. What else? Oh yeah, and then you're just gonna submit a public link of your file to Canvas, and then also a picture of what item is supposed to go inside of that box. And that can just be like a screenshot from the internet, like if you are doing a, I don't know, if it's more of a joke, or at least you should just tell me what your what object is going in it. Like if it's conceptual, you can't really take a picture of time, or like a bigger, larger concept. So if it's conceptual, just like type it in a comment to me. If it is a personal, like a piece of jewelry that's passed down to you, send me a picture to that. And if it's something that you don't actually have, but it's for like a friend, you can just find a picture of it online. But I do want to know what your box is modeled for. So that's kind of what we're making for this project. Feel free to ask me if you have any questions.